Hey, it's a very good morning to you from edtech by Meera, and today we are going to do the good old project for every JavaScript enthusiast. What is that? Submit form. It's a simple project, but mind you, do not ignore the simplicity of this project. Even though it's simple, this will help you to do more complex JavaScript projects later on in HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But mainly this is considered as a JavaScript. So first we start with the HTML DOM. We have the HTML tag. Inside that we have the body tag. And then we create the form tag inside that. Inside the form tag we have a container. We have containers. Different containers. So we have a div container to hold the label for name, another div container to hold the label for surname, another div container, yet another one to hold the label for email. So this is how you should understand the project while doing it, not just code. So inside your first div container, we create the label tags for the name. So the label open and close tags. Then between the label tags, we write name. The name title, because it's going to be for the name, right? Going to be the label for name, and the for equal to name within quotes. So this will identify that this label is for the name field. Yeah, then under the label tag you have the input tag, which is self-closing. Obviously the type is text, because we are going to input only types, text for the name, surname, etc., not number. And ID will obviously be name. Now we just copy paste, because this is going to be the same, similar for all the labels for surname and email. So this div, we just copy paste across. But be careful when you're doing that, and then just change some field only. Like for example, the field name I replaced by surname. Then the field category for name I change it to for surname, and also the ID was instead of name it will be surname. Last one again. For the category is going to be for email, so for equal to email, and the label name is email, from name to email, and type will remain the same. ID will also now become email instead of name. So you have three containers, three div containers, each holding the label for name, surname, and email respectively. There you go. You've got a nice rough kind of a input field here, which will be holding the different labels. And then after that you create the paragraph, the P element, and inside that you write the text content. Click on submit button or submit, whatever you want to write, some sentence in order to perform the submission. Something like that. So basically the user has to understand what action to perform. That's all. Yeah. Then after this, what you need to do after the paragraph, you need to create another container, the div container. Remember the submit, because the submission has to take place. So the submit button has to come here. So input ID. So the ID here will be not name, surname, mind you. The field is going to be submit. So this is different from the name, email, surname. So here the ID will be submit, and remind you, type won't be text as in the previous case. Type will be submit. Because you're not going to input any message or name or letters or whatever. It's going to be something where you'll perform the action of submitting. So the submit. Yeah. Okay, we have still not finished everything, so you won't see the full form and design here. So let's continue doing the CSS. So let's perform the, let's see the full, okay, we have still not done with. Some corrections to be done, and I mean some more work to be done. Okay. Okay, let's do the JavaScript. Now here you have to make a variable for the form. So const form. Now this is obviously const because it's not going to change. It will remain the form. So const form equal document.query selector. Why we use query selector? Because it will choose the first selection of the element form within the HTML DOM. Yeah. So the first element indicating the form is the form. So it will select. It will go and select that. So you have got a document.query selector the form. Then you have another variable para. So const para will be, you're just creating it, mind you, document.query selector p. Why? Because it will select the first match of the p element in the DOM, which we already created a while ago in our HTML. So it will grab that content from the paragraph. Then you have const name, document dot, here it will be get element by ID, remember, because it's a unique ID that you've given for the name. So it will get that element which has the ID of name. Similarly, for variable const surname, it will document.get element by ID. It will grab that particular element with the ID of surname. And that goes the same for submit. Const submit will be document.get element by ID submit. So now you know how it goes. Yeah, why query selector and why ID I just explained. Okay. So these variables you have just created. Next is you have to perform, you have to create the code in JavaScript. First you create the respective required variables, and then after that you have to create the function to perform the action or the event. So that let's see how it is happening. Form.add event listener. So when you add this function add event listener, some action will be performed. And what is the action in this function? Submit. So when the submit element is clicked, when someone, in other words, when someone clicks on submit, event follows. This is how you read it. This is the arrow function. So what is the event that follows is again based on a condition. That means if name.value equals to empty string. That means if the value in the name field is not there, is empty or blank, or the double slash is for the or surname.value is empty string. So that means nobody has input anything, yeah? Or email.value is empty string. That means still no input in the field of the name or the surname or the email. If that is the condition, then event.prevent default. Now what do you mean by event.prevent default is we want the actions to be under the control of JavaScript, not under the control of the window browser. So that's why we write event.prevent. So whatever happens here should be under the control of the code that we are creating in JavaScript function, not according to the default actions of the window browser. That's why we write that line there. Then what happens is para.text content equals you need to enter full details. So that means if one of those values is empty, name or surname field or the email field is empty, then it will give you the response from the program. You need to enter full details to the user. So user knows, oh, I haven't filled it yet. Else, so one is that if condition, and remember that event.prevent default is very important. It's under your control of your JavaScript function. Else, if that is not the case, alert success. That means if you fulfilled all the entries in the respective fields, then it will alert success, form submission complete. As simple as that. So easy. This is the way you must interpret the code that you are doing. Yeah. So let's see it in operation. You have the submit here, you have done the CSS. I've not gone much into the details of the CSS. Very simple, just submit button, background color. That's all I have done, and the margin and the space. And bit of width I've given to the form. You can see it in the code editor when I give you the link. So let's check it out. Let me test it out. Enter the name here, enter the surname, enter the email. Let's see if it is submitting. So let's go through that again in the submit form. Okay, I'm entering the name field, the surname field, and then I remove the surname field and make a mistake in the email purposely to test it out. So what does it say? You need to enter full details when I do not enter the surname field. Then I remove the name field. I make a mistake intentionally. You need to enter full details. There you go. So this is a response the program is giving me. I make a mistake in the email. Please include an asterisk in the email address. So your submit form is successful. It's performing the function as desired by you. Yeah, as desired by your code in your JavaScript function. So let's take a quick look at all the codes. Sorry, let me get to it. The HTML code first. Okay, so we quickly made the HTML code with the body tag, the form tag, and all the labels. Let me enter that code field again, code editor. Okay, and then the different containers holding the labels for the name, surname, email, then the paragraph content, then the submit button also created, the submit field also created. CSS, it's very simple. I just did the styling for the width of the form and the background of the submit, and in the JavaScript already created the variables for the form, paragraph, name, surname, submit, email, then added the event listener with the condition. And as you can see, the condition was, remember, the name, if one of the field is empty, then it will say you need to enter full details. But if all the fields are full, it says success form submission complete, which it just now showed when I entered all the fields. So let's check it out again. Full page view. I'm doing the code. I'm using the code editor, mind you. I enter the field for the name. Let me see. Enter the field for the surname. Enter the field for the email, but with the wrong email address. Please include an asterisk. Yeah, so it's showing you the error. That's quite cool. Then I remove the surname field, and you need to enter full details. So if the surname field is empty, it will give that response. If the name field is empty, again you need to enter full details, that was the text content you wrote in your paragraph. Now you learned how to create a submit form successfully in JavaScript. We'll be making more such projects. Until then, stay tuned, stay subscribed. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, smash that subscribe button so that you get more such tutorials and you become most march forward in your JavaScript. See you until the next. Smash that subscribe button. See you in the next.